We'll give it just another minute. Is this the microphone for Stephen? Up. Okay. All right. Let's get started right on time, maybe even a little early. Oh, noon. Here we go. We have quite a few people online that are joining us today. So first of all, thank you for coming. I really want to welcome you to Compass Financial. My name is Guy Lehman. I'm an owner and advisor here, and I'm actually in charge of the events too. So you get to see a lot of me monthly. Compass Financial is a registered investment advisor and a wealth management firm here in Iowa. And our deep goal is to be a world-class listener and to walk alongside with our clients along the financial path of life. And so we thank you so much for choosing Compass. I'm glad that you're here. Today we're going to be talking about technology, some of the technology that we use at Compass behind the scenes, as well as some of the technology that LPL uses that you have access to. I want to talk about our next event. Our next event, we take December off, and in January we do our annual economic update. Okay, so be looking mid-December or late December for the invite for our next event. You won't want to miss it. I'd like to introduce the rest of our advisors and administrative. Michelle Bjorkren, Steve Connard, Justin Van Houten, Caleb Pearson here is the tech guru. We're going to be hearing from him a lot today too. Alan Holstein and Julie Greer, Nancy Economist, Hannah Wilson, Joe Waniger, and Cheryl Hurst is not here today. And our team is growing. I want to introduce Stephen Tallman just for 30 seconds. And Stephen, introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about.
For sure. As you said, my name is Stephen Tallman. This is my 4th week with Compass, so very new here. So got a lot to learn. Been able to sit down at some meetings and learn. I'm on my path to becoming a full advisor. Going through all the registrations and testings and stuff like that. It's been great. A little 30-second about me. I grew up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and then went to Iowa State. Go Cyclones. I met my wife there, Sydney, and we've been married for 5 years. We have a 1-year-old daughter, Ellie, and she has completely changed my world. I look at things different, and it's been wonderful. It's really been a blessing. So we just have the one daughter, Ellie, and then so we both graduated Iowa State in 2018. I graduated with an accounting and management degree, and from there I started doing corporate taxes for Chevron Renewable Energy Group out of Ames. So, motor fuel taxes, sales tax, income tax, a little bit of everything. And excited to pull a career change, get here, get to meet people, get to talk with people, get outside from, sitting behind a desk in an Excel spreadsheet all day. So it's been nice. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. If you think a 1-year-old changes their life, wait until you have a teenager, right? That's what I keep telling them. All right, today we're in for a technology potpourri. Trust your Compass, tips and tools to elevate your technology experience. And as with technology, always be patient with us. We're going to cover a lot of ground today. And as we know, technology doesn't always work well, but when it works well, it's awesome. Caleb Pearson is our tech person. He's our IT central. Any questions go to him that we have here in the office. So he's running the computer today, and we'll be hearing him. Yep, sorry. We'll be hearing from him. Okay. Jump. Jump is our note taker, basically. And we turn Jump on, so it's going to take notes on everything that it hears. And what it does is it's software that transcribes meetings and then summarizes them for us. Okay. So it's our note taker, and it is specifically designed for financial advisors. So it's real tuned in on numbers and levels and those sort of things that come up in conversation. So it's going to be recording this, and it will at the end spit out a summary that we will look at together and interact with a little bit. Okay. Well, here's our agenda. We're going to look at signing up for Account View. We're going to look at navigating Account View, going paperless, accessing your tax documents, statements. We're going to spend a little time about how to read LPL statements, right? There's some confusion there sometimes. We may touch on account type basics. We're going to look at e-sign because we do a lot of our paperwork e-sign via email now. E-sign stands for electronic signature. We're going to look at opening secure email. We have a secure email system that we'll talk about. We're going to visit the Compass website and show you several different tools that are available to you there. And at the end, we're going to interact with Jump, what Jump spits out about this meeting, and interact with AI a little bit and show you a project that I'm working on that's personal outside of Compass and how my interaction has gone with AI so far. All right, so let's step right to it. We are going to actually, if we can, we're trying to do it live to show you the actual thing. And we're going to do that on Account View. My son has a little Roth IRA. We're going to use him as an unwitting suspect here to open up an Account View under his name. But one of the issues we kept running into showing stuff live is the privacy and the process is so protected. It's been very difficult to do a lot of these things live. So we're going to be showing examples of many of them. So the first thing here is, by the way, this is LPL Account View. This is how you access your document or your accounts online. Who here accesses their account online through LPL Account View right now? Raise them high. Okay, about half. Good. All right, we're gonna go through the process of signing up. So Caleb, click on this, and we're actually gonna not share this real quick. So, but just to show you right here, sign up. Okay, there's login and there's sign up. If you have a login, just go ahead and put username and password and it'll get you in. We're going to sign up, okay? And then, yep, stop share. Okay, there you go. I'm just going to cover this up because we're going to enter some personal information in here to get signed up. And then once we're in, I'll kind of show you what it looks like and how to navigate around a little bit. Oh, yep, 515-943-0724. And it's going to, okay, this is one of the double checks. My guess would be, is it's going to either send me an email or text my phone for a verification. Which one does it say it's doing, Caleb? Oh, yep. You got to set up a password and it's going to go through two-factor authentication to set up your phone. So every time that you log in the future, once you have your login and your password, it's going to two-factor your phone. Yes. So you can do this exact same thing on your phone. And in fact, if you go to your app store, right, the Google Play Store, if you're Android, or if you're iPhone, go to the App Store, and you can download LPL Financial Account View. And you can sign up this way. You can log in this way. So if you start your login here online, you can go do the same thing. You can download that app and do the same thing on your phone. LPL Account View. Account View. Okay. Verification 348 728. Okay, you guys Roth selected? Okay, here we go. We're online. Old Warner Lehman had a summer job and he got a Roth IRA started. Okay. Couple things I want you to see. So the account, you can click on an account and look at it. But today I want to talk about right up here. Oh, yep, right up the top. Go paperless. Okay. So click on that. And it gives you three options. It gives you to go paperless on statements, paperless on additional documents, which are trade confirmations, shareholder communications, and notices for all LPL accounts. And then at the bottom, there's tax forms, right? So this is where you can go access your tax forms, number one. Or number two, if you want to turn the paper off. Who here is sick of getting so much paper? All right? This is an opportunity for you. Now, a lot of people don't want to shut their tax form off. They want to receive their tax form paper copy, you know, in February, March, or April, whenever those come out. So I guess I would recommend not going paperless for tax forms. But once you have account view, you can get statements there. You can get your statement on account view. You can see what's going on with your accounts. So maybe you don't even need your statements. But I guess I would recommend if you want to slow the paper down and you do have account view and you're comfortable using it, is to go paperless on statements and maybe even potential additional documents. Now, a lot of people say, who here, the prospectuses, and that is outlines what funds you have or what you own in there. And there's actually a rule that we're subject to that everybody needs to receive prospectuses. And so that in the past, like who here has got a big book from Principal or JP Morgan in the past, right? And wanted to stop that. Okay. The industry's gotten a lot better. Sometimes who's receiving little postcards now that say, hey, that book is still available. And if you want to go look at it, here's the link. Okay. Basically saying that you can still access that information, but it's not being printed off and sent to you. Okay. So account view, you can go and so go into overview, Caleb, and click on his account, or can you scroll down? Yeah, scroll down a little bit. So this is how his account is done. He bought 1 share of Berkshire, and then promptly afterwards, Warren Buffett said that he was stepping down from CEO. So he has been sorely disappointed on how this year has gone for him so far. But you can kind of see, so this is a 1 year. So, yep. Starting value, he hasn't made any deposits or withdrawals so far. He's actually made $10. And so this is his ending market value. Okay, so really, really basic, simple stuff. I wanted to show you what it looked like, how to set it up, how to get in it. And then once you get in it, there's a lot of information in here. You can look at transactions, you can look at asset allocations, you can look at your positions. Okay, a lot of information. This is basically a digital statement. Okay. There is a new thing, transfer money at the top. Okay. When it says transfer money, this is a one-way thing. You can send money to LPL Financial if you have a checking account linked, but you cannot take money out through this portal. All the money out has to come through us, which I think is a very safe and protected way to do it. It's the way it's always been done here. Okay. So just that's a new function that you can add money. You can also nickname your account. Where is that at, Caleb? If you click it, Yep, there is a way to nickname your account. I've nicknamed accounts in here, so just beware. And there's information that we can send you, and there's tutorials on here if you want to dig into how to use Account View. Okay, but Account View, really wonderful thing if you want to log in, look at things. You can look at documents, go down to statements. So you can look at statements, you can look at trade confirmations. So if you wanted to, you could pull up Warner's October 2025 LPL statement. Okay, so there you go, Account View. The next thing we're going to look at is statements. So Caleb, why don't you pull that up? Okay, head to the top. Now, if you have multiple statements, you get something on the top. This is just one page on the top of your statements that you get, which, by the way, statements come out quarterly now, not monthly. So you'll be receiving quarterly packet of your statements. This top page is a summary, and you can see it right here. It says 4 accounts. So this is what we call the consolidated statement page.
Yeah, the default right now is quarterly, but you can sign up for monthly statements if you still want to get monthly statements. So if you get monthly statements, you may be getting those, but the default is quarterly.
Okay. And we're just going to review briefly. So there's always a timeline, and you always got to look at the details about what it's showing. So here's the value on all 4 accounts aggregated. The value as of January 1st. The value as of August 31st, and then the value as of this statement. So this was the statement that was sent out in October for September 30th, month end September 30th, okay? And even down here, the summary. So again, these are all aggregated into one number, all 4 accounts. And you can see quarter to date, so from July 1st to the end of September, and this is year to date numbers, okay? And you got starting value, you have inflows, how much money has been put in, you have outflows, how much money has been taken out. You have the change in market value, right? And then you have your ending values down here for these time periods. Okay. Second page.
One thing to note here is if for some reason you're getting multiple mailings with separate accounts and separate envelopes, we can turn on the combined statement so it all comes in one envelope. So you see it like this. So you just have to let us know if you want to turn that on.
Okay, so when you get a combined statement, the summary page is on the front, and then the remaining pages go into detail about your accounts. So this is an example of one of your accounts, and we kind of blacked out any personalized information here. So same thing. It outlines the timeline on this specific account. Okay, so this in this case, it would be 1 account out of 4. In this specific account, January 1st, September 30th, October 31st. Another thing, again, you got to look at the titles here is current month, October through the 31st. Can you hear me? I feel like I'm talking away. Can you hear me? Okay. The current month, October. The current quarter, which actually lines up with just a month because we're a month in. And then year to date from the 1st to October 31st. And same thing, starting value, inflows, outflows, the change in market value, which is essentially the price, and then your ending value. Okay. And when we go down, there's an asset allocation, how much is in cash, stocks, bonds, other little things. And by the way, there's a QR code here. And Caleb, what does this take you to?
When you pull up your camera and you scan that QR code, it takes you to a website. It's secure, so it'll send you a text or give you a call. You can elect to put in a code, whatever cell phone is on file for the account. And it's basically a virtual statement. There's more details, so you can click into like specific tax lots for the different holdings you have, those types of things. So there's just more detail. It's just a virtual statement.
Okay, let's keep going here. If this is a retirement account, then it shows contributions for that year and distributions for 2025 so far. And then we get down into the holdings. So each account has a cash line. in the account. Okay. And a lot of the following information here is going to show you how much you have in there and transactions in and out of that, the cash line in your account. So here, this account has 118,000 or it's $118.85 in cash. It's an insured cash account, so it is insured up to the FDIC limit. And then it goes on to talk about what your investment holdings are. So the security and description is over on the left. And here, the quantity and price, the quantity is on the top. So that's how many shares you own of this position. And that is the current price, at least at the end of the statement date. So October 31st. So if you own 8 shares at $258, that's the market value of that position. And also, there's a yield number here, which indicates how much in the form of dividends or income you can expect off of this. And then it estimates your annual income, and that's actually based on the last dividend. So, okay, that's an estimate again. And you go down through here. So these are all the investment positions that you own. And then it totals it up at the bottom here. Okay, keep going. Next page. Okay, here we go. These are activities, again, in and out of the cash position in each account. So for instance, this top part here is additions. And the bottom part here is subtractions. So if you take this, securities sold over on the right is you sold $1,705 of securities. And down here, securities purchased, you bought $1,743 of a different security. So there's a transaction in here during this month. And you can see a dividend paid over on the right, $121. And down here, you can see a reinvestment, $121. Okay, so this is a account where nobody's taking the income. The income is being reinvested back in the position. All right, go ahead and keep going. And so income, that's just what I pointed out, or I guess, let's see here. Income and distributions and reinvestments. So this position kicked out a $6.55 dividend, and you can see the dividend reinvest. So again, another transaction in and out of the cash account. Okay. Let us okay, that's briefly how to read your statement. Let's skip this for now. We may come back to this later. Okay, e-sign. Again, we try to do e-sign whenever possible. It's very efficient. It's very easy to use, but there are some tips and tricks that we're going to talk about. So the first thing is you will receive an email. This is to Caleb Pearson via Adobe Sign. Okay, that's the program that LPL uses to kick out e-signature paperwork.
I actually sent this one to myself. So that top line where it says Caleb Pearson via Adobe Sign, that's who is sending it. So a lot of times it'll be either your advisor or an assistant here that's prepared the paperwork for e-signature.
Yep. And so you'll get an email that just says, right here, a couple things. The big blue button is your way to move forward. However, there's instructions down here. And your passcode is the last 4 digits of your social security number. So if you go ahead and click View Documents, it'll take you to a page that asks for your passcode. There you go. Okay. Now, when you hit Continue, it's going to pull up the document itself. And so this is our Compass Financial Services investment agreement that everybody is signed to work with us. And there's a couple things to notice. Number one, that sometimes it takes a while to pull up and load. And you should definitely wait and read what we're sending you and what you're signing. Okay. And the way to navigate here is there's usually a little blue or arrow or something like that that either says next or start. And that's what you click on, and that will take you. Now you can scroll up and down and you can go onto the next page and read everything. And we certainly encourage you to do that. If you want to find where you need to sign, click start or next, and it takes you right here. So you actually have to, right? It's easy to say following directions, but we miss it. Click here to sign. Some people keep clicking next, but you actually have to click here to sign it, and it'll give you some options. And so you see on the top, you can type, and it'll make it kind of a stylized signature. And if that's good for you, you can just hit apply. You can draw where you actually need to use your mouse, and that's not nearly as clean. Okay? You see what I mean? Goodness, Caleb's a kindergartner now, right? So you can take an image, actually, you can have an image saved of your signature, which again, pretty tough to do, and there's a mobile thing too. But most of the time we use type your name and then hit apply. All right. And then that's it. So next thing here, now, it's point and click to sign, click to sign. So Caleb, click to sign.
Before I do that, usually a lot of documents have multiple places to sign. So after you click that, there will be another blue button next to it that says next. So you click that and it'll just go next to the next spot that you need to sign.
There you go. So try to click to sign. Oh, and it won't do it. It actually says you must explicitly agree by checking this little white tile. And then by checking, I agreed to this document and I agree to utilize e-signatures, basically. So you're accepting to use e-signatures. And then once you click that, you can hit click to sign. And then that's it. You will receive an email that says your e-sign has been completed. Okay. So by and large, pretty simple. Almost everybody can use it if you can get on a browser. So
and Guy, just also point out, you can download a copy of what you just signed by clicking this. So if you want a copy of anything, of course, that's available in Account View. Anything you sign, you can pull up there as well. But if you want it at that time, that's where you can download it.
who here has done an e-sign with us? All right, pretty good. Thank you. Okay. What are we on to next, Caleb? Open a secure email. This is something kind of similar to what we just went through. Very protected, very encrypted. This is LPL technology, and our whole email system is under LPL's purview. And we can send you a secure email. And what that means, it's encrypted, okay, mathematically encrypted. So it's virtually impossible to hack. And here's what you're going to get on your end. You get an email from Caleb Pearson saying, from LPL Financial, this is a secure message. Click here. And when it's the first time, you're going to have to enter some information and basically set up a profile to receive a secure email from us. And it asks first name, last name, create a password. And then again, they're going to set up a validation code. So they're going to do a two-factor. They're going to send you an email or a text, and you'll have to enter it in there. And then once you set it up, you can go into the secure email system and read the email. Okay, because we might have sent you something with, well, usually what happens is people want to send us information, account statements, outside information that might be sensitive, and sometimes they don't want to do that, and I understand that. So we always say, hey, you can drop off paper copies here, or I can send you a secure email. And if you reply to that secure email within this system, it will be encrypted back to us too. Okay, so that's kind of a benefit. Question, Larry? Yes, totally different system. Yep, it's not connected to anything else. And I will say on some computers, once you do an initial password, it will save that password and keep that password. I know my computer is set up that way. Has anybody else used this system yet? Okay. So pretty much after you go through the first thing, I think your computer's more likely to not have to continue to enter that password every time. Okay. Okay. That is an example of a secure email. Next. Here we go. We are going to www.compassiowa.com. That's our website. A lot of cool stuff going on here. The first thing I want to show you is up on the orange bar. What do you see on the far right? Account view login. Okay. So if you click that, that's going to take you right to that page that we started on. Nope, that wasn't. Well, it's still logged in. Yeah, it's still logged in. But it'll take you to the login page that we started with on LPL Account View. Another thing I want to highlight is our 3 buttons there, our LinkedIn page, our Facebook page, but mostly our YouTube page. So click on that. This takes you to all of the videos that we have done. And if you notice, here are the educational topics that we've done in the past. We're recording these and we post these educational videos on our YouTube account. So you can find them all here. And there are years and years and years and years and years. In fact, if we go back far enough, we may actually see a very young Kurt Pearson on KCCI. All of his, yeah, look at that handsome guy. Wow, Michelle's there. So tons and tons of information out here. And if you ever want to share one of these events with somebody that you know, you can click on a link. Wait a second. Go down. Come on. Go down a little bit. Look at this guy. He's like 11 in this picture, I think. So anyway, you can share these videos, tons of information, and we've tried to capture everything that we do here for posterity's sake, I would say. Okay, back to Compass. Now this is pure expense, Kurt. Sorry. Okay, let's go across our subheadings there. Services, hourly financial planning, investment management, insurance. You can click on each one of those and read a little bit more. Why Compass? So our philosophy, there's additional videos there. Those are not actually the same thing as the YouTube videos. Working at Compass Financial Services, you met Stephen. We are looking for new team members because we're growing. So thank you. Keep that in mind. But I want to focus on our people quick. A couple things here. Number one, again, wonderful picture. Scroll down a little bit and you start to see the team members here. And Caleb, click on yours. And I want to raise a couple things here. Number one, every advisor has a My Compass story. And we created videos on what brought each person to Compass. And so I would encourage you all to click on those and learn a little bit more about your advisor. Secondly, of course, our contact information up here, but here's something really cool. And here's a piece of internal software we use for scheduling. So click here to schedule a meeting with Caleb. This takes us to our calendar software that allows you to set up a meeting by looking at Caleb's calendar and picking an available time. So here's Caleb, devilishly handsome. Office meeting with Caleb. Pick a 60-minute meeting. And it asks you what time zone, central time zone it defaults to. And so here is Caleb's availability. And click into December, Caleb. Yep, click over the next month. So December 10th, Wednesday. Here's what's available on December 10th to meet with Caleb. Okay, so if you click on one of those, 9:30, he likes to sleep in a little bit. Give him some time in the morning. And just your name, who's going to show up, your email, and what would you like to discuss during our meeting. And this will show up on our calendar, and you will be scheduled. And you will be getting an email saying, hey, your meeting is 24 hours away. Looking forward to it. Hey, your meeting is today. hey, your meeting is in 1 hour. Okay. So there's some notification emails out there. It's really nice. So people can go out and set up their meetings with us. All right.
And also, Guy, in those emails that you get, if you ever need to cancel or reschedule, you can do that directly through
The link's right in there.
and
Yep.
we
Cancel
get-
this meeting, reschedule this meeting.
Yep, and we get notified of that, so you can do that instead of calling in or whatever.
And this is particularly helpful when I'm trying to get 2 or 3 or 4 people together. I send them an email and said, hey, have my calendar pulled up when you're scheduling our appointment with your CPA or with your attorney. Okay. So it makes it really easy. All right. Back to our website. Resource Center. A lot of information here. We have calculators, information on retirement, estate, investments, insurance, tax, lifestyle, all sorts of stuff there. Same with our blog is if you receive, if you receive our monthly newsletter, this is where it shows up. I just wrote one for November. Things are a-changing. Anybody believe that's true? Oh yeah, faster than ever, right? So you receive this, you should receive this in an email every month, our Compass newsletter, but it's also located here. LPL, LPL, of course, is our broker dealer that we choose to work with. LPL is the largest broker dealer in the world that serves the independent advisor. Okay. And here, next one is events. So click on events. This is also where you're going to find events like this. Well, here's today. Now, when we list our next event for January, we're going to have a big register here button. Okay. So you can register for events. Most people do so through invites that we email out. Hey, this is what's going on. You can also come here and register for events. Okay, either virtually or in person. All right, I think that's it. Anything else on our website? No, it's really good tools there. Okay, Caleb, do you want to stop, jump? So we paused it. We're uploading it. And it takes a couple minutes to spit out to process and spit out the summary. Okay, interacting with AI, I'm going to take this a little bit on a personal tangent here. I got 4 kids. I've long been a coach. I've coached all my kids in something, most notably track. And since we are Catholic, our kids have been involved in the parochial schools. So there's 12 elementary schools around the Des Moines Metro that all feed into Dowling Catholic High School. And we run a track meet with all those 12 elementary schools. And so they all come and compete against each other. And why don't you pull up this program here? So, of course, there's a lot that goes into it. Each coach enters in their team and signs up all their students, all their athletes for races that they want to enter. And then this program that's called High Tech Meet Manager spits out heat sheets. So this is a heat sheet for a meet. We have 6 meets throughout the year, and this is a heat sheet. And so what this says, event 1 is the girls 1,500 meter run. And this is Kendall Hogan, Sacred Heart. So you got the team over there. You got the seed times over there. You got the names here. You got the heat. So this is 1 of 1. There's only 1 heat of this. And it goes, if you scroll down, so the girls 1,500, boys 1,500. They have 2 heats in the boys. Then girls 100 meter dash. There's 2 heats of that. And then the boys 100 meter hurdles. And so it goes on and on and on. Basically, this lets everybody know. So for instance, Abby Mewling here. So she's in the first heat of the 400 meter run and in lane 2, and she's from St. Francis. Okay. So in the past, it was a big job getting all your kids to know what race they were in, what heat they're in, what lane they're in. Okay. And this was all used to be done by hand. So coaches would get each student and look their name up on this. This has probably 30 pages in it. It goes on for 30 pages. And they would write things on their arms, or they would have a little wristband that gave them all this information, okay? Enter AI. And this was my pet project. I wanted to take all this data and turn it into something. Go to the other attachment, Caleb. Yep. Okay. What I showed you first, the heat sheets, is the raw data. This is the finished product. Okay. And there is a whole process to go through to take the raw data into a label for each student in each school. So for instance, Michaela Young, HT, that stands for Holy Trinity. Okay, Michaela Young, HT stands for Holy Trinity. She's in the girls 100-meter, heat 5, lane 3. The sprint med relay, team A, heat 1, lane 3. She's the second runner. So anyway, very specific data. So what I've done here, and then we print this onto labels, and we give kids Tyvek wristbands, and we put that label on the wristband. And all of a sudden, instead of 12 coaches doing all this information, I'm doing it all. And so we give each kid a wristband that has all the information that they need to know for the track meet on it. Amazing. So this took 12 people, 12 coaches, spending 2 or 3 hours for every meet doing their own team. And I centralized it, one person with the help of AI doing this, and it takes me about 2 or 3 hours to do the entire meet, okay? So an enormous savings in time, all because, and this is from a lot of trial and error, how to get AI to work for me. So the first thing that I need to do is I am copy and pasting from the heat sheets all that data, and I'm plugging it in to AI. And then I'm also giving instructions about what I want it to do with AI. So let me just read what the instructions are. Okay. Running events, no analysis, just list this data out in a certain form as you go, with no spaces before or after, and with the column order as first name, last name, lane, event, school, section. Ignore the seed time, ignore the place column, and for running events, here's how you list the sections, heat 1, heat 2, heat 3. Here's how you list the lanes, lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. Abbreviate schools into 2 or 3 letters, and abbreviate events into BG. B for boys, G for girls. Okay, so basically, plug a bunch of data in here and ask it to do its work. And so this output here, keep scrolling down a little bit, Caleb. This is the first step in that whole process. It is reorganizing all the data that I copy and pasted in there to my very specific instructions. Okay, so this is one step of about 20 in this whole process, but this whole process is not possible without AI. Okay, so just I wanted to share with you a little bit about a little example about how AI is making things better, is making things more productive, is making things easier, is doing things that we couldn't do before, okay? And the time savings that goes along with that. Okay, this is a tiny, tiny example in my personal life of what's going on in the economy right now. Because if AI can do something like this, it can be applied to a lot of different uses. And I'll tell you, it's been a game changer in that. Okay. Thanks for allowing me to share that. I don't know if you understood much of it, especially when I got into the specifics, but the point is, it will do what you say. It will do what you ask it to, and you need to be very specific about what you're looking for. Do we have a Jump AI output yet? Oh, okay. Here we go. Keep scrolling up a little bit. So here is a summary of what Jump picked up so far in this meeting. Welcome and introductions, overview of event timing, account view setup, how to do that, navigating account view and reducing paper statements. Reading LPL statements, e-signature procedures, right? So this is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, what I want you to do, Caleb, is go up. First of all, how are we doing on time? Good. So I want you to go up and I want you to edit right there. And I want you to say, hey, go find Guy, G-U-Y. And let's say it misheard me, because it does sometimes mess up details, sometimes mess up names, and replace it with Gary. Yeah, because there you go. Okay. And then you can hit save and that'll edit the note, right? Another thing, you can ask anything. And you can say, what did Gary say? I'm just kidding. What did Gary say about account view? And it'll pour back through the transcript and it'll kick out an answer. Spelled my name wrong. That happens. Even people do that. Okay, so I just want to show you, right? This is a tool that we're using that's a productivity tool, because this can capture a lot of the stuff that we're not writing down or we don't quite remember, or it's more comprehensive. So it's been very, very good for those of us using it. Go ahead.
A few additional things on this. One, your advisor is supposed to ask before using this, so you won't be recorded unless you've given permission to do so. Another thing is the transcript and the recording is deleted for good after 7 days, so it's not ever hanging out there for an extended period of time. And the last thing is the program is trained to get rid of and not record any account information, bank account numbers, Social Security, date of birth, all that PII stuff is automatically redacted from any of the recordings and the outputs that this puts out there.
Yeah.
Just a few security things so you guys know that.
PII stands for personal information.
Yep.
Yep. Personally identifiable information. Okay. That pretty much, why don't you go back to the account type basics, and this is something non-technological related, but there's always a little bit of confusion, and there's a lot of different terminology that goes in here. I'm going to talk about that. So there's basically 3 types of accounts out in the world available for us. The first one that most people are most familiar with is this type of an account right here. This is a retirement account. It's a pre-tax account. Your money went in before being taxed. So this is known as a traditional IRA, a traditional 401k, a pre-tax 401k. Again, a lot of nomenclature here. But your money, let's say you earned $100 and you are contributing 10% on a pre-tax basis. So $10 goes into this account, and then the government looks at your check and your income's $90 and they apply the tax, right? The withholdings. So this month, that $10, 10% got in here before taxes were applied. And the deal here, and the government gives you this break, the IRS gives you this break, is the money went in before taxes. It grows tax deferred. So if this $10 eventually grows to $20, you don't owe any taxes on it as long as it stays in here. But when you take it out, you owe taxes on everything. The money that you didn't pay taxes on, the $10 that you didn't pay taxes on to begin with, and the additional $10 that it grew. Okay, so everything's taxed at an ordinary income rate down here. This is the pre-tax traditional account type. Another retirement account is also known as Roth, and that's relatively new. It started in 1998. And the deal here is you're going to get taxed on your income already, and put your money in after taxes. So if you have that same $100 income and you want to contribute 10%, the government looks at your paycheck and it's $100. So they apply the withholding to that, right? So let's say it's 20% withholding and after taxes, you have $80 left over. So if you were contributing 10%, you would put $8 in this because it's after tax. And let's say that $8 grew to 16. The deal here is if you pay the government tax up front, they're going to give you tax-free growth in this account. So when you take your money out, you've already paid taxes on the first 8, right? So no taxes due on that. And the government's giving you tax-free growth. So the additional 8 that it grew to, you don't owe taxes on that. Okay? So if you need $1 from this, you just take $1. No taxes due. If you need $1 from this, you probably have to take out $115, $120 maybe, pay your taxes and have $1 left over. So these two are retirement accounts. And because they're retirement accounts and they give you these breaks, they also put restrictions on them, right? How much you can put into them every year, when you can take them out. Sometimes there's income limits on contributing to these. Okay, so again, they give you these breaks, but there's also restrictions, and those two are retirement accounts. Okay, this last one over here is a non-retirement account. So what does that mean? It means it doesn't have any of those rules and restrictions on it, but also it doesn't really have any of the deals either. Okay. And this is known by many different names. Some people call it a brokerage account. Some people call it a joint account. Some people call it a non-retirement account. Some people call it a taxable account. Okay. But it is simply an investment account that is not a retirement account. It doesn't have any rules on it, doesn't have any restrictions, and it doesn't have any deals. So for instance, if you open this, and how many here have a non-retirement account of some sort? Yeah. Okay. This is liquid. You can buy and you can sell and you can get into it and you can get out of it, or it can just be a long-term investment account that you use for retirement, but it's not a quote unquote retirement account. Okay. So for instance, let's say I had $100 and I put it into this type of an account. So again, it's after tax money. It's money sitting in my checking account. And I put $100 in and I buy Apple stock with it. And over time, a couple things are happening with that Apple stock. Number one, it's gone up in price. So now it's worth $200. And number two, Apple pays a dividend. So every year that I hold Apple, it pays me $2 or $3. Okay. So the reason it's called taxable account is because I have to pay taxes on any dividends that I receive, no matter what I do with it. So I could take that dividend and spend it, or I could reinvest it and buy an additional portion of a share of Apple stock, right? Reinvest dividends, you've heard about that. And so, but it doesn't matter. I still owe that $2 to $3 is a dividend that I owe taxes, and I'm going to get a 1099 at the end of the tax year on that, and I'm going to have to pay a little bit of tax on that income. Remember, I put in $100 and now it's worth $200. My basis, or what I paid for it, is $100. My value is $200. So right now I have $100 in unrealized gain, right? I don't pay tax on that gain until I sell. So if I sold my Apple stock, I got $200. I bought it for $100, sold it for $200. That year, I would realize $100 in capital gain, and that would show up on my 1099 along with my dividend. Okay, so again, that is just some big account basics about the 3 major types of accounts we have here. Any other additions from the advisors? Okay, we are entering the time period here. We got 5 minutes. Questions? Okay, can I have the, yep.
Excuse me, very basic question. I get this LPL stuff about 20, 30 pages every month, every quarter, every month.
Yep.
So if I go on the,
If you go online,
go online, then what am I gonna get?
you will get an email that says there is a new statement out on Account View that you can go look at. Yep. Yep. If you choose Go Paperless, you'll receive an email that says you have a new statement available online.
I noticed on, when you had the LPL site up, that there was a place where to download for Quicken. Have any comments, experience with that? I mean, I use Quicken
Yep.
for managing finances. Do you know if there's any?
Question about downloading Quicken. Downloading for Quicken. I have heard it's a royal pain in the bottom. That's the feedback I've gotten. Okay. And many places have integrated with Quicken, meaning that it'll update automatically once you get it set up. LPL will not do that. You have to manually go out and click that button, create a file, and then download that into Quicken. Yep. Not super user friendly. This doesn't count as a question, Justin. I'm not answering it.
Guy, tell me about, no, just kidding.
Okay.
Caleb, can you show them, if they're in Account View, how to download a tax statement? Can we pull that up? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna log on.
But just so everyone knows, because that's going to be coming up here year end heading into next year, but sometimes you're wondering where our tax statements at or how do we get them? If you haven't elected for paperless, they're going to get mailed to you as usual, right? If you did paperless, then you'll get the email and they'll show up that way. But when you go into Account View, whether it's online or whether it's through your app, there's a little tab you can click and then you can get all your tax statements there. So you can download and save them just for personal use. You can, of course, download them and send them on to your CPA. But that's a handy thing that'll be coming up here and probably one of the more useful things you can do in Account View besides just watching your accounts.
443141. 443141. Okay. So online, go to Documents, Tax Forms. He doesn't have a tax form but this is where you go. It'll look the same as that. Yep. So you could click on that and download it. So that's where you get it. And it'll be electronic, so you got to print it off if you want a paper copy. Okay, we have approached the end of our time. If you have additional questions, please find your advisor. Please jot them down. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your loyalty. I don't know if that deserves a round of applause, but we did it, okay? We did it together. Thank you for your trust as clients. It is a deep and wonderful thing, and your referrals mean a lot to us. So thank you for sending your friends and family. If you know somebody that needs our help, please let us know. For all those online, and thank you for coming, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.